Hey everybody, welcome to Mars Elite TV. I am David Hashagen, your lead broadcaster. And this week we are sitting down with the man, the myth, the legend himself. He is the founder, owner, and president of Mars Elite Soccer Club, Vincenzo Bernardo. Vincenzo, thanks for sitting down with us.
Thank you for having me.
So, obviously now we are getting to within a couple of months of the start of the USL season. But less than a year ago, this wasn't even a reality. Take us through that process of going from a youth club that's only 5 years old to now being involved in the highest pre-professional league in the United States.
Yeah, I mean, this was all new for us as a club, for myself as the club president. It took about 4 or 5 months from start to finish in a 15-page business plan that was done by myself and our director of coaching, Scott Maloney. And it was just a lot of planning, a lot of running the numbers and seeing if it actually makes sense. And overall, it was a decision that was made for the club and for the players and the pathway. So now we're here and we're excited.
Now, obviously, as I said, 5 years into a youth soccer club, obviously that has its own challenges. Especially between COVID and different seasons. So, how are the challenges similar, and how are they different from running a youth team to running now a pre-professional franchise?
Yeah, I mean, they're completely different in a lot of ways, and then similar in some ways. So it's kind of like, how do we put them together at certain moments? And for me as the guy leading the way, I have to do my best, kind of being the president for the USL2 team and being the president for the youth side. So obviously with the youth side, it's all about player development and the player pathway, and the players come first, and it's about their individual development plan. With the USL2 team, it's a pro team. We want to win, and we want to win immediately. So it is a lot of pressure at the same time. But overall, I mean, there is a lot of ways we can kind of marry them together when it comes to games. We look forward to seeing all the kids in the stadium cheering the USL2 team on.
Now, you mentioned the youth development and how important that is to you, obviously, for the kids. You went pro very early on in your life at 16, signing with Napoli. How different is the path now for players who are trying to get to the professional level as an American as it was to when you were coming up?
Yeah, I mean, when I was a kid, it was what I did, just leaving, the United States at 16 years old and going to Europe after my sophomore year. That was uncommon, right? So, that was like something that's never been done before, or rarely done before. But now there's so many different pathways for these young players who want to make it to Europe and want to make it to the highest level. So there's, the common pathway for the American player traditionally is to do club in high school, go to college, get a degree, play in college, and then hopefully get drafted into the MLS or go to Europe. But the competition's so fierce that once you get out of college, you're too old in some countries to kind of make your professional debut. Players are debuting at such a young age now. So there's that pathway. There's the pathway that a player just leaves during high school and goes to Europe, and there's players leaving as soon as they hit 11, 12 years old to go to Europe and kind of go through the youth academies in Europe and hopefully get that appearance in the first team. So there isn't a right or wrong answer or a right or wrong pathway for players. It's all about the individual player in their certain situations. But the number one thing is that it's great to see young Americans playing overseas and playing in the MLS as well, and getting the opportunity to showcase their skills at such a young age. So overall, it's helping the game and helping our national team in the long run.
And it helps you give that perspective to the players that are currently on the USL franchise as well, because obviously they're taking a pathway that really wasn't even available to you when you were coming up, going through USL League 2.
Absolutely. I mean, I tell our players every time I see them, this is the opportunity for you to take your game to the next level. We don't want these players here for more than a year or two, right? Because this league and this platform is meant for players to jump spring into the MLS or USL Championship or League One or even Europe. So I tell them every day, it's a tryout. Every time you're on the field, you're on display. Use this season as an opportunity to take your skills and your game to the highest level.
How do you feel about the team that we have right now? Obviously, we're 26 players, looking for a couple more. We have an experienced coaching staff, Coach Javier Velasco, Coach Alca, and Coach Donato as well. How do you feel personally about this team moving forward? Obviously, it's a big challenge going into a first season, and especially in a division as difficult as this one.
Yeah, I mean, going into the Metropolitan Division, which I think is one of the most competitive ones, it always is. There's a lot of soccer going on in this area. My decision was to go with a more experienced coaching staff You know, getting guys like Javier, Alco, Donato, and Aris, our goalie coach. You know, these guys they have 20, 30, 40 years, some of them, in experience in the game. So, you know, hopefully that shows on the field and shows with the team. In terms of the players that we have, I think we did a fantastic job. You know, we did start earlier than most teams, but we were at 0, being a new franchise. So I thought we did a good job signing players and having them train throughout the fall. And now we really change gears as we go into preseason next month. And we're prepared. I think we're in the best position right now to succeed as a new team. And you know, now the fun really begins when we get on the field and we start playing these games that count.
One last question before we wrap things up here. What's the biggest life lesson that soccer has taught you?
That's a great question. You know, just for me, you know, being able to travel the world, seeing different cultures, different people, creating different friendships, many friendships around the world. You know, the lesson I'd say is to always be humble, and really to believe in yourself and do the right thing, even though sometimes doing the right thing might not be the most popular choice or the most attractive choice. You know, usually the people that do the right thing and do it with the right intention, they make it in the long run. So that's the lesson I'd say I learned playing soccer overseas and you know, all these different countries.
Folks, that'll do it for Morse Elite TV this week. Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel and follow Morse Elite on social media on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter for all updates regarding the USL League 2 as the season kicks off in May of 2021. Vincenzo, thank you for sitting down.
Thank you.